Hey everyone, what's up? So it's nighttime. Oh man, it's been a long month. Spence fan told me that, and he was copying off his idol Spence. He said that you can't catch Spence with a fishing pole. Well, my response to him was that depends on the fisherman. You know, we done seen Spence get caught, guys, and we've been seeing him get caught more and more these past fights he's had. I don't know what you guys be watching, you know. Nobody has to make up narratives or nothing. You guys been seeing it yourself. Sean Porter, he got lumped up. Come on now. He got hurt in that round. He got hurt in the 4th round. Again, these are non-punchers. Danny Garcia, dude who ain't even trying to fight you. You know, it seems like these dudes be having silent agreements with Spence too. That's the funny part. But Ugas, silent agreement. Danny Garcia's silent agreement. Still hurting you, you know. 12th round when Danny Garcia put his punches together, especially in the last 10 seconds, he was landing a bunch of those punches. So again, you don't have to be a master fisherman to even catch this dude, you know. We all saw the media workout. You know, I was still impressed, and it's still more what you're going to get normally in a type of fight in this magnitude. You're going to see a lot of fighters. They're not going to show out during, you know, a media workout. But Terrence Crawford, you know, he's utilizing it just to get in, you know, a little workout, make sure that he sweats and things like that. I liked his attitude the entire time. You know, he was professional. It was all about business. You saw a lot of these reporters, especially that dude that looks like he does meth off Fight Hype. I don't know that dude's name. He's lame, though. I never liked that dude. Fight Hype, we know, has ties with PBC, you know, because of Floyd and things like that. But that dude's a bum. You know, he's a PBC fanboy, too. Little, like I said, dude looks like he does meth, you know. I know he graduated from college and all that stuff. I just don't know his name. But he's always trying to sneak diss, you know. Trying to act like he was Crawford's fan, commenting on him, you know, playing a Tupac song, and then he has to throw some shots like, what's wrong with your legs? You know, for this fight, Crawford ain't going to need legs. I was watching the Avanesian fight, too. I think it'll be a nice little fight to do a quick little film study on. I'm not going to waste my time with the Ugas fight, guys. I'm really not. Like I said, that was a dude that looked like he was on silent agreement. Still catching Spence, still hurting him to the body, still hurt him to the head. You know, we're done with Spence at this point. You know, but I think I'm going to do that Avanesian real quick because the high guard is why I want to do it. Shows what Crawford does when dudes want to, you know, go in high guard. Crawford sometimes goes in high guard too, you know. Winky Wright had the perfect high guard because he actually kept it way out in front of himself, further than most fighters. It was just the way he was built. He had a very good defense, and it was kind of hard to penetrate. You know, you had to kind of put your combinations together, you know, to get through that. He didn't like combination punching, but, you know, he had a very excellent defense. That's a guy who you can say has fundamentals, dude. You know, if you want to talk about fundamentals. But that Avanesian fight, it's quick, it's easy, you know. And again, we can highlight the high guard, how Crawford kind of dismantles it, you know. And Avanesian, too, he had a very awkward style, off timing, off beat, broken rhythm type fighting style, hitting, constantly switching back and forth, little trickster type style. I'm still up north where I'm at in the mountains, high elevation, 7,100. You know, the first couple of days I was hurting, but we did get acclimated to this elevation, which I'm not used to. But other than that, it's been nice. There's not, you know, you guys probably can't see it. You can actually see the stars out here and crap. But yeah, we're going to focus on the high guard. There's more narratives surrounding that fight as well. Crawford, I guess, was just getting beat up all throughout that fight. I actually thought Crawford's defense was pretty good, but we'll go over it, you know. It might be more of a fight commentary more than a film study, but we're just going to be calling things out and things like that. Like I said, it's a quick, easy fight to do, so I might as well come out with that one. And plus, I'm not motivated to redo the Ugas one. Like I said, PBC, there's a lot of funny things with that company, but as we saw today, these dudes, they were trying to, some of them, that dude from Fight Hype, again, you know, trying to pick and prod. And Bud was telling them, like, you're just throwing wood on the fire, you guys talking about this glass and all this other nonsense. You know, he was still professional, though. He was still having fun, but at the same time, professional and focused like a laser, you know. It wasn't like the Sean Porter media day, a media workout day. You know, that one, he was really going hard. But this one, you know, he was still putting in that work. It looks like he's got more muscle for this fight. I also noticed he was working on his jab, making it more stiff in conventional and southpaw stances. You know, it looks like they're trying to really put some more meat on that jab. But we told you before, Crawford has a nice jab, man. I mean, just because a dude doesn't throw 400 jabs, you know, doesn't mean they don't have a good jab. Crawford, again, you know, people see what time it is, man. I mean, I don't even, this stuff gets boring after a while, guys. It really does. I'm kind of glad this fight's so close so this crap can be so done. But yeah, we're going to see Errol Spence tomorrow. And like I said, we know we're going to get Mitts, him and Derek James. You know, and we're going to see the heavy bag. I don't know what kind of training Errol Spence does. I don't think he does accuracy bag and all that stuff. Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know. But I think advantage that Crawford does have, he gets 3 different looks from 3 different trainers. He has 3 different perspectives, you know. One guy sees it from this perspective, another guy from that perspective. I don't think Derek James has that much perspective. Again, I give the matchmaker more credit than Derek James. You know, I think this man, he's just in a position where, you know, PBC, you know, it's an affirmation society. So people like Fight Hype and those type of guys, they have to kiss up to these people, and that's how you get access, you know. So I get it, man. You know, I don't like to hate on reporters too much. You know, these are the dudes that are putting food on their table. But Derek James, you're just a popularity contest winner. You know, it's just popularity contests and save face type tactics. They asked Bomac, you know, how do you feel about going against Derek James? He was pretty, what's the word? Amiable. He said it would be an honor and stuff like that. There was no real digging crap. Like I said, Crawford, you know, he's starting to temper off a little bit as far as his anger and things like that. We haven't seen that real mean version of Crawford. You know, we see it in glimpses here and there. We saw it in the Sean Porter fight when he thought he was down. That guy shows up, the fight's over. I'm telling you right now. But he's at a point now, you know, he's a little bit older now. You know, he tries other things and, you know, he's just starting to mature more and he's not so angry anymore. But that's not neither a weakness or a strength, you know. It just depends. You know, it just depends. But, again, I was going over some film and I saw some things. And, again, I just want to point that out in our next film study. I see a lot of dudes, they're like, dang, you know, Terrence Crawford, you know, he does look sharp and things like that. You know, he's just a professional, guys. I mean, we got to be realistic here. Just be like realistic like your dude Errol Spence. He understands why people have Crawford as a favorite. You know, from a boxing standpoint, you clearly see who's more versatile, you know, who's more experienced. You know, the narratives, they try to make it seem like, you know, You know, Spence has fought the better competition at the better time. Again, that could be argued either way, you know, for either guy or against either guy. I just know this, you know, Sean Porter, he was more beat up in that Ugas fight. He had 2 cuts on both eyes. You know what I'm saying? When he fought Ugas, he actually touched the canvas too, not just his glove. He actually went down. You know, people clearly thought that he lost that fight. You know, even his best friend on the Porter Way podcast told him that he lost that fight. And to sit here and, you know, compare that to Formella performance, again, when you have to go that far to kind of convince yourself of things, I just don't know what to tell you. He's still crying and trying to make it a point to win the A-side battle. You know, if you're A-side, why would you even have to make sure that you have to reinforce that to the people? You know, if I'm A-side and if I make more money and all this other nonsense, you know, I know what time it is. You didn't hear Oscar De La Hoya talk about that type of crap, you know. You would hear Floyd Mayweather, but he's selling the fight and things like that. Plus, Floyd is going, you know, crazy selling the fight. He's doing Dancing with the Stars, WWE. You know, he did some pretty extreme stuff to sell a fight. He definitely earned A-side. He, you know, I call him the P.T. Barnum of boxing because, you know, before the fight, you're going to get the greatest show on earth, and his style is more predicated on a hardcore boxing fan to enjoy, more so than like a casual, you know. If you're into if you're into watching a person make boxing an art, you know, that's Floyd. That's the type of dude you'd watch, man. And I loved that type of fighting as I was growing up and whatnot. You know, but Terrence Crawford, he's somewhat on that level too, where he can make boxing an art and he can create as he goes. And, you know, it takes his opponent. His opponent is the canvas, and his style is going to fit to what his opponent is. And that's going to be what decides how he takes his opponents out. You know, Sean Porter, it was just that step back counter left uppercut, you know, lunging into a punch, you know. But the way Crawford was able to time that shot and perfectly land it, where it sat him down and you saw the drool coming out of his mouth, that just takes too much skill and too much IQ and just so many factors coming together to land such a shot. You know, Avanesian, it was a counter 6 and then a 3. You know what I'm saying? It just depends what the opponent gives him. You know, and Errol Spence, he's got plenty of interesting openings that I'm, you know, wanting to see how Crawford's going to craft whatever shot he's going to craft in that fight. You know, Spence has, you know, he even said it on the pivot. He has a passive-aggressive style. Again, when I came out with that video, you know what I'm saying, people were just going crazy and you're a hater and this. The man says it himself, guys. It's on the pivot interview. Go watch that. I think that came out today or yesterday. But, you know, he's going to be behind that jab, and it's more of a safety feature than anything else. It's not really something to cause damage to an opponent. It's more to distract and things like that. But we see him. He has plenty of mental lapses, and he does get clipped a lot. He gets countered off the jab a lot. Again, watching the Avanesian fight, who was switching back and forth stances and crap and just doing all this crazy broken rhythm type shots. You know, I think it's going to be very interesting again, where we can continue to talk more about the style matchup of this fight. But yeah, people, they're throwing, you know, wood on the fire. You know, it's just what Crawford said. I could tell he was starting to get irked. You know, old dude from Fight Hype and a couple of others. You're still trying to make this a popularity contest, guys. Trust me. You know, Elon Musk didn't win the popularity contest, dude. He didn't. You know, who's the dude that did Microsoft? I forgot his name. I don't even care. But he didn't win no popularity contest. He was a nerd, you know. A lot of guys, and I tried to get into this a couple of videos ago, when we were going to bring up historical figures and things like that, people who were kind of not influenced by the group think or the social norms of their times and how they were able to actually transcend those and be a trailblazer and create a new standard and things like that. You know, I plan on going hard on that topic after the fight. You know what I'm saying? But the outcast, man, I'm trying to tell you, don't sleep on them. You know, we could bring up so many examples. Shaka Zulu, we could bring up Alexander the Great, we could bring up Genghis Khan, you know, whose name was Temujin. We could bring up so many examples of these people, man, and just how they were, and they all kind of got similar stories. They weren't accepted. Their legitimacy was always, you know, questioned. You know what I'm saying? It was always up for debate. It was always met with, you know, non-acceptance, if that's the word I'm trying to find. I know there's better words, but some of you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's those types of people. Those are the people that do the crazy stuff. And for Crawford to be the first undisputed champion after like a 13, 14-year gap, now he's in a position to break history. You know what I'm saying? I had to do in my comment section tell me he's not doing nothing. You know, he's, you know, whatever. He doesn't set any trends. Or when he got undisputed, then you start seeing everybody get undisputed, bro. You know, I just don't sit here to suck Crawford up. It's right there playing in your face if you want to do the research. And I mean, here we are again. This is a man who the boxing world tried to leave out. You know, you've seen all the memes where all the other fighters are playing video games and Crawford's outside in the window looking in and like he's all sad and whatever. You know what I'm saying? These junior high antic type pecking order nonsense that people have been doing with Terrence Crawford, dude. I'm telling you, you know, Spence better hope he don't offend him. You know, he better hope he don't, you know, get Crawford ticked off and things like that. If he does bring it, Crawford's just going to raise the level, guys. You know what I'm saying? You know, we've all seen it. Spence is nothing crazy that, you know, just... Again, against Sean Porter, you showed no real separation. Danny Garcia, you showed some separation. But again, I'm looking at these fights. It looks like you got silent agreements, man. These dudes, Danny finally starts putting his punches together within the last 10 seconds of the fight. He was catching Spence, man. He would have done that all night. Again, Spence wouldn't have got half the success that he did. Sean Porter took the fight to him. Y'all saw what happened. Dude was busted up, you know, at the end of the fight. One judge was convinced that Sean Porter won. You know, Crawford ain't got no split decisions, guys. I'm sorry. You know, you were a minus 850 favorite. You know, on some sites, you know, you're almost 1,000. You're like a minus 900 favorite, man. You know, when you see little blips like that in fighters' careers, man, you know that they're just a hype job at that point. I think, again, Spence going to be playing it safe. He's going to be using that jab more as a defensive tool than an offensive tool. You know what I'm saying? He's not a guy who can make a guy walk into shots and things like that. You know, Terrence Crawford, when he knocked down Sean Porter that first time, made him walk into that left uppercut. Again, Spence don't have that ability, guys. I really don't know why you guys come on my channel crying and all this other nonsense. It's right there on film, guys. This has been, I'm kind of at that point where I'm kind of exhausted of going over this stuff, but that jab, again, he's going to do the step back. He tried the step back counter left on Sean Porter all night. Sean Porter's not the most, you know, boxing IQ type guy. He doesn't have the highest acumen, boxing acumen. He was able to avoid that for the majority of the night. Even when he got knocked down when his glove touched canvas, he got right up and bum rushed Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence couldn't finish the job like how Terrence Crawford did, man. Again, I don't know what fights you guys be watching or what fighters you be looking at, man. I really don't. Spence's style, you know, Crawford can avoid getting hit in his hips, his legs, and his balls and things like that. He doesn't get slowed down. He don't need to be that mobile in this fight. You really don't. When you're aggressive against Spence, that's what really hurts him and that's what really exposes him, guys. Those are the type of opponents that always beat him. Again, we showed you the first film study that we did back in the day. Just what, you know, pendulum steps and things, how that affected Errol Spence. We also saw in early rounds how Sean Porter was doing that at first. and, you know, was making Spence's jab and things like that not a factor, you know. Bud's going to have to avoid the ropes. But again, Spence, he ain't really that aggressive, you know. You can get him to back away quite easily, you know, even if you feint at him. But again, I think the Avanesian fight's really going to highlight some pretty cool things that we're going to see in this fight. You know what I'm saying? Just how he was doing Avanesian with his jab. He jab up top and go down to his body. Again, he was just catching the openings quite well, you know, even off that long layoff, you know. It's pretty good that he did take that fight. Errol Spence, again, I don't believe that, you know, he sat out just because he wanted to make the fight. I don't think they didn't want to risk it, to be honest. And Keith Thurman, again, his left hook and some other things, his movement, you know, it could have been problems. And plus, you know, I don't think that fight would have sold much. So I don't think the risk was worth the reward of you looking bad again and getting hurt again in yet another fight. You know, people, again, Errol Spence and his fans trying to use some save face tactics, acting like this stuff didn't happen that we all saw that occurred in real life. You know, I think it would have been more the same with Thurman. He probably would have beat him, but at the same token, you probably would have got hurt. You would have got caught with some shots. You know, he would have countered you with your jab, you know, things like that. And plus, you're going up to 154, and then you would have had to move back down. You know what I'm saying? Again, the time was now. Because, again, you're trying to maximize this dude's money, and you're trying to, you know, maximize your own money on top of that. Making up pay-per-view buys that don't exist, that's not helping your business. So they needed this fight. They knew what they were doing. You know, he's playing the A-side role, but again, you've done this with every opponent. You know, Sean Porter got the same guaranteed purse as you again. If I'm A-side, why am I having a dude who can't sell a family dinner get the same guaranteed purse as me? Even if you beat him on the back end, that's still not a true A-side move, guys. You know, I know I stirred up you Errol Spence fans with that crap, but again, we're not here to make up narratives. We just tell it how it is, man. I don't see Canelo's over here saying, you know, Caleb Plant gets the same purse as me, you know, even though he has a belt. You know what I'm saying? So again, you're B+ side. That's just the truth. You guys don't even have to get mad. But I'm done rambling. It was a good day. Good to see Bud, and we'll get to see Spence tomorrow, and we'll get to compare and come out with more videos. This one's a little uninspired. I've had a long day, and I'm ready to get home to my kids. So haven't seen them for about a month. So I just figured I'd talk some boxing, and we will come out with more later, guys. Bye.